He is writing. This is the examination paper for the #1 imperial examination in the 3rd year of Hongda. Why are you standing there stunned if you are not the #1 candidate in the examination paper? Why don't you take this person down quickly? Didn't you see what was written? What he wrote was clearly the imperial examination paper for the 3rd year of Hongda. It's the article about your master Zhang who shocked everyone and won the top prize. My father, my adoptive father, Yu Hongda from Suzhou Zhang Ya, was the top pick in high school in 3 years, but he was killed by an adulterer. Juya's sister-in-law stabbed his eyes out. For his hands. Throw him into the lake. He was one of the few people in the dynasty who even took over his title of #1 scholar and became an official. Let Mr. Zhang, the #1 scholar, thank Mr. These two people had already planned. It's better to put the two of them in jail as soon as possible. Don't worry about your husband's family affairs. I really can't care about it. Mr. Goat is the main mouthpiece of Hongda's 3rd company. The empirical verdict of this article is that I personally handed it to the emperor. The emperor's royal pen personally sealed Dian as the #1 scholar. Someone actually talked about what happened back then. Another main idea. This husband must be crazy. You no longer observe. Why bother meddling in other people's business? The prince will be here soon. This chaos. Who is afraid of disturbing His Highness the Crown Prince? I have been an official for 40 years. That's the prince. You want to give me some points for being the thin noodle champion? The article has been sealed with the Ministry of Rights. How can outsiders know the content? Yes. The article is written by the #1 scholar himself. Know the content. Who knows if it is true or false? But this man is a cripple. Just write these few words. An old man who can speak well. He can prove that he can regain his youth. Just the miscellaneous papers of the scientific examination that year. It is the work of my father's painstaking efforts. Every word is familiar by heart. Full text recovery possible. Verbatim. Can be compared one by one with the sealed test papers. What Di Zhang's father said is true. Could it be that Mr. Zhang is really an impostor? It is the classic #1 article written by the Holy Emperor back then. No doubt. It was written by Zhang Yan. Joke. Just don't give out the test papers. How can it be used as evidence? What if the test paper is leaked? Heavy. Exam paper has etiquette department. The sealed prince. Your Highness has to ask you to stop. Call it out later. How do others see it? What's more, ordinary people like us pretend to be the #1 scholar and deceive the king. This is a heinous crime, Zhang Yan. You pretend to be. Steal fame. Enjoy glory and fame. The incident happened today. I will report my evil deeds to the Holy One. Must be dealt with strictly in accordance with the law to set the record straight. Don't worry, Dad. He will be punished soon. Zhang Yan. What else do you have to say? Of course I have something to say. Father. Don't worry. The facts are right in front of you. He can't help but quibble. They say this blind man has sensitive hearing. Then listen carefully. Not a word. Missing official articles. Emperor's spirit. Desire within. There must be evidence from the manager. Impossible. How does he know where we are? It's word for word. Think about those days. I became a saint through this article, and every word of it was engraved in my heart. 18 years have passed. Still don't dare to forget even half of it. Impossible. This is not your article at all. Someone must have leaked the test paper to you in advance. You just said it yourself. It's impossible for anyone to see the test paper in advance. Why don't you admit it? Since the test paper may be leaked, then how can you guarantee that the article your father wrote was not an unexpected gain? The elder has been an official in the court for the past 18 years. Wouldn't I have already prepared a way out just in case your father-in-law used his power to provide pensions for the elderly? Master, it's not that I cannot thank you enough. At least the leak of the World Scroll, Mr. Zhang. I'm really doubtful about my identity. It is my duty to investigate the leakage of the Ministry of Right's historical records. But you too want to use this to frame the court official, so you are delusional. It is clearly a false accusation against the brave and cunning people who secretly see the world ahead. It's up to you to falsely accuse the court officials and retain help in the rear positions. It's up to you to ask more questions during the night. If the trouble comes again, it's Zhang Shiren who will solve the problem. The lives of these two people must not be spared. Let these two people live in hatred. Hands on, hands on. Who dares to stop me from doing my job? Kill without mercy. Mr. Zhang has such great official authority. Is it to kill someone on the spot? See His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. See His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. Mr. Zhang, you don't have to be polite. I just came to congratulate Mrs. But I didn't expect that your residence would be so lively. There are unruly people causing trouble in the palace. I'm processing it. Sir, you were wronged. The master works hard and achieves great results but does not serve the people. The lady is gentle and achieves success. This made Dottie's father specially order me to come and deliver congratulatory gifts. Zhang's family has a double happiness today. Don't spoil your interest. Open it and show it to Lord Zhang to see the decree from the father. Confess Lord Zhang as Prime Minister's Wa. One person is subordinate to 10,000 people and Zhang Yanming is the Supreme Minister. Don't rush to write now. Look at this again. Maybe it will make you happier. What can compare? The position of Zhuqing is still important. Yes. MOMO wants to make a king or a marquis. Your Excellency, all the disciples are bright. Why is this? This is the original manuscript of Hongda's #1 article in 3 years. I came here alone to celebrate my birthday. But I saw the sky descending into a foreign land. Heard again 18 years ago. The true and false #1 scholar mystery. The #1 scholar became disabled. It's really shocking that the prince has arrived early. Don't listen to slander. Master Zhang. You have been an official for many years and are highly regarded by your father. These two have no evidence. I naturally believe in your minister. Thank you, Your Highness, I am just an ant and everyone here will believe it again. Hard to see even for adults. Many people say. Since both of them can send the original text. The girl then specially brought the original document from the Ministry of Etiquette. Stroke. Writing habits vary from person to person. Since this article was personally written by Mr. Zhang back then. Then rewrite it and compare the notes. I knew it. No need to hesitate. Someone comes to poison Mr. Zhang. Feelings are gone. How to observe that it is indeed the work of one person to use it to its own disadvantages. Who wrote this? Must be ambitious. Breeze and bright moon. It's really not as powerful as Jing Yan's work. But I'm exactly the same. Could it be that I guessed wrong and was naive? Since I can memorize the test paper in advance. Imitation notes. What's the difficulty? Your Highness, these two people. Empty words and white teeth seriously injure me. All kinds of doubters proved one by one that Mr. Zhang has such outstanding achievements in loving the people. How can I be slandered like this? Mr. Zhang, you are clean and sincere, and you have repeatedly checked the sentence. Please punish the evildoers severely. Return Mr. Zhang's innocence. The content of the article itself proves that Mr. Zhang is the #1 scholar in Hongda for 3 years. What do you say? Why was Mr. Zhang framed and who was instigated by him? That's the rhetoric. Anyway, no one believes that we are going to use torture. This is not the first time that we have argued. Then leave it to Masters Wucheng to handle it. Take people down. Why should it be heavy? I can prove it myself. Wait a moment. I have no evidence. Father Jia said. There is an ink character in his mother's name. Not necessarily its name. Every time you write, a little bit in the upper right corner will be omitted. Even the imperial examination is no exception. Just find out the test paper. How to write Chinese characters. Then you can write His Highness to buy. The ink characters written by this person. It really does write gangster music. Please reveal the poop on the upper right. Look at the test papers from that year. Let's see how this ink character is written. Lord Zen Master. Although this is your own test paper. But after all, the small one has been sealed and taken out. It's also taking a huge risk. Rest assured. I will become your lover. Wang Xia was standing around watching. He was also fooled around. There is indeed something wrong with this test paper. He's the one with the problem. You see, this mosey has a complete structure. There is no missing point in the upper right corner at all. Now the truth is revealed. I also ask your highness to solemnly accept this. The two asked His Highness to issue an order immediately. Ask immediately. Please give an edict to His Majesty the Crown Prince. Take it off immediately. Good. Is it wrong? This is not the test paper from that year at all. If he secretly steals from you, why would you look back?